After getting so many comments, today I'll be redesigning all of your gacha OCs. After doing so many redesigns, I've put them all into one video. This is gonna be a long one, so stick around and let me know your favorite in the comments. Let's get drawing. Alright, so the first character I decided on was this one. They didn't really put the character's name in their comment, but I guess I'll just call this character Blue. The creator is Orb, and they commented, "My OC, she likes blue, books, and has a good sense of humor. She is a stuffed animal that belongs to a 12-year-old and she was found in the dumpsters and the girl cleaned her up. I hope you use this for your video. It would really make my day." Well, lucky you, Orb, this is the character that I chose. Now, this character really caught my eye. There's something about it that's so charming. I just think it's really unique. I love the concept and the design of this character, but I also chose it because I really think there's a lot that I could add on to this character to make it even cooler. Now, the main thing that I wanted to focus on is the fact that this is a doll. And I think the creator definitely did a pretty good job on that. They put button eyes and the mouth looks like it would be something more on the cartoony side, more kiddish, but I had a lot of ideas in mind as well. One of my first ideas that came to mind was the book on her head. Now, the book on her head in the original design is just laying flat on her head like it's gonna fall off at any moment, and while I do think that's very cool, I thought it would make more sense if the book was more stitched to the doll's head so that it wouldn't fall off and it would stay on there, so I gave it some stitches to actually be attached to the head. When it comes to the hair in the original design, I really like what they did with it because with a lot of dolls, the hair tends to get really messy because it's kind of hard to brush a doll's hair because all of it gets yanked out, or a lot of the hair on dolls tends to be a very cheap material, so naturally it just gets messy, you know? And also in this instance it only makes more sense because the doll was in a dumpster. For my version, I definitely changed the hair quite a bit. First, I did make the hair shorter mainly as a personal preference, but also because I wanted to give the doll pigtails, and I think on a lot of dolls, pigtails just look really cute. It also gives off more of a childish vibe. Another thing that I see commonly with dolls is that the bangs and stuff will usually be made of plastic or a different material, but then if the doll has ponytails, it'll be a completely different type of material, so I actually tried doing that with mine. I made the pigtails more detailed to look more like actual hair, and then the hair on the head is kind of more simplified. The creator mentioned that the doll is very humorous, so I wanted to make their smile even bigger, so I actually made it stretch across the entire face basically, and then I put some cute cheeks. To be honest, it kind of gives off a little bit of a creepy vibe, but I think it looks cool. Instead of a sweater, I made it into a dress, and I made it a lot more baggy and oversized. I thought that'd be really cute. I also really love the fact that the original creator put the sleeves over the hands. I love that feature, so I exaggerated it a lot more in mine. Since the girl found the doll in the dumpster and then repaired her, I decided to put some random patches on the dress to kind of show that the little girl took her time to, you know, patch the doll up. I turned the cat ears and the shoes into more of a knitted material, so it looks like the doll is more homemade. And when it came to the coloring process, overall, I just tried to make everything look more like materials that a doll would be made of, like knitted or cotton. And last but not least, I made her a little cat tail with a string of yarn, since she also has cat ears, and yeah, she's done. She is so cute in my opinion. I love the original creator's design, and I love my own. Thank you, Orb, so much for submitting this design, and please let me know what you broskies think of this in the comments. Alright, so next character is submitted by Sfeel, and their character's name is Lavender. Lavender goes by he, they, and they are 15. They deliver dreams to people to warn them of things like an omen, and they are a creature of unknown origin. He is aloof, sweet, and has a very positive outlook. Sometimes he can be a little toxically positive though. I really love the concept for this one. I mean, delivering dreams to people sounds like a really cool job, although I'm not sure how cool it would be for the receiver considering half of my dreams are really weird and I die in most of them, but nonetheless, I honestly love this character and their design. Especially the color lavender, it's honestly so pretty. And also not really a color I use that often, so I was really excited to do this one. For my redesign, I'm gonna mostly focus on the fact that this person is a dream deliverer. Oh my god, I can't say it. A person who delivers dreams. For the most part, I kept their original hair as well as their face because I think those fit. Since this character delivers dreams, that's also associated with sleep, so I wanted to include that as well. Instead of the original hoodie and shorts that they had, I made their outfit more of like a sleeping suit, I guess you could say. Like a onesie, and it's striped, so it looks more like pajamas. I thought that was really cute. You know, gotta be dressed for the occasion. Something I really wanted to add into this design is a dream catcher. A lot of you probably know what a dream catcher is, or at least have seen one. So a dream catcher is a circular framed net with a hole in the center, which was originally made by Native Americans, and basically this is used to be like hung over or near your bed to protect you from bad dreams and give you good dreams. When I was growing up, I remember having these in my room, and my friends also had them in their rooms too. Dream catchers are usually decorated with things like beads and feathers, and I think it's very beautiful, so instead of having a star as the bag where they deliver dreams, I decided to actually make it into a dream catcher bag. I thought it would would make more sense, and I think it really fits. And instead of having horns on the character's hoodie, I decided to put feathers instead, as well as little puffs of cloud. Speaking of clouds, those are also related to sleep. So instead of having regular wings, I turned the character's wings into cloud wings, and I think it looks really, really cool. Since Lavender originally has stars in their design, I still wanted to include that, so I put some little stars in the Dreamcatcher bag, and those are basically supposed to represent the dreams that they're giving out to people. I also made them holding a little star in their hand, and I also put some star buttons down their pajamas, because usually pajamas have buttons. I ended up adding some pinks to the color palette as well instead of just lavender, just so that, you know, it pops a little bit more. And last but not least, instead of giving the character shoes, I just gave them socks because people don't usually wear shoes to bed, and it makes sense since they're wearing pajamas. I also made them leaping forward, kind of like they're frolicking in the clouds in the sky, and they're on an adventure to deliver dreams to people. Also, broskies, in the comments, let me know what's one of the weirdest dreams that you have had. One of my weirdest dreams that I got when I was younger is that I would blow up like a balloon, and then I would be in a room with closing walls that had spikes, and then it would pop me like a balloon, and then I would die, and then I would wake up. It was really weird. I had that dream several times when I was like 7 years old. That was probably TMI. But yeah, so my redesign of Lavender is finished. I think this turned out so cool looking. I love the colors in this. I'm pretty proud of how this turned out, and thank you so much for submitting this character to me. Spheel, I hope you like the redesign, and I hope you broskies like it too. And last but not least, this character is submitted by Marissa. Here's mine. Her name is Mare, and she's a half alien, half cat girl. She's a warrior. I think this character is very cute, especially because I love cats. I mean, who doesn't? Come on, if you don't like cats, I don't understand you. But yeah, anyways, as cute as this character is, I do think there is definitely a lot to be added here. I love the concept of an alien warrior cat girl. Very cute, and I had a lot of ideas in mind. While her outfit is cute, right off the bat, I noticed this does not look a whole lot like an outfit that a warrior would wear, or at least from the warriors that I've already seen. To get a better understanding of what a warrior looks like, I did look up female warrior outfits on Google just to, you know, get a little bit of inspiration and just see what kind of garments and armor they typically wear, because, you know, if you're a warrior, you know, you're gonna be doing some fighting. Of course, not every single warrior outfit has to be complex, but a lot of them definitely are. So that was my main focus for, you know, sprucing up this outfit. Another thing is that, and I know I've mentioned this before in some of my other videos, I am not used to working with the color green. I barely use it. I know I should definitely use it more, but it is one of the colors that I am the least familiar with, though I do think green and purple are a really good color combo. And I think it's pretty clever that the creator of this character used these colors, because usually when I think of aliens, I think of either green or purple or gray. She's also holding one of those swords. What are those called? Those glowing swords? I kind of forgot. One of the first things that I changed with this character is their hair. I do love long hair, and I do think it looks very pretty on this character, but for a warrior, someone who's constantly fighting, I think it would be better for their hair to be up or just not be able to get in their face so much. But if she's swinging her sword and her hair gets in her face and then she can't see, she's gonna lose the fight. So since she's also a cat, for my version, I actually put a bunch of bells in her hair into kind of like a ponytail looking form, because I've seen cute little kitties with bells on their collar, so I thought it would fit her. Then at the end you can see her hair poking out. Also, if you're wondering why the bells are kind of like floating in the air and they're not really attached to anything, it's because since she's an alien and she's probably from space, I want her to look a little mysterious. I wanted to have something more supernatural about her. For her outfit, I put these little protective pads on her shoulders to protect her when she's fighting. And then I put a cloak coming down from it. I've seen a lot of warrior outfits with those too. She's kind of like wearing this one-piece armor suit, I guess. I'm not really sure entirely how to describe it, but I also put this metal belt around her waist that has a star in the middle. And then beneath that, a piece of armor forms down to her waist, and then it flares out as a cute skirt. She also has armor protecting her legs, and originally I was going to give her boots, but then I ended up turning them into sandal-type shoes because I wanted to show more features of her being a cat. And cats are really good at hunting and running fast, so I thought it would be helpful for her to be less restricted by shoes. I decided to make her a sword figure just because I thought it would look cooler. I tried to give it the glowing effects, but I'm not very good at that. I think I could have made it more flashy, but I still think it looks really cool, and she's leaping forward in this very energetic pose because I imagine her to be a very happy character. She's making a peace sign with her hand and winking. I will admit, I initially struggled a lot with this one. Out of all of them, this one's definitely the hardest for me because I'm not used to using these colors, but I did my best, and I actually think this turned out great. Thank you so much, Marissa, for submitting this character, and let me know what you broskies think in the comments. First OC that I'm redesigning is Rin from Artistic Animator. Well, I can definitely see you're artistic. You have a very cool OC. Rin is a ghost who helps lost people find their way using their tail. The tail is basically a light and a map. Rin does a lot of nature sketches, mainly forest sketches, and Rin also has a ghost cat that is gray with white stripes all over it. I love this character so much. Their design is so cool, and honestly, at first I wasn't going to do this simply because I didn't know how to make this better than it already is. But after a while of thinking, I came up with some pretty cool ideas. Obviously, the tail is what sold it for me, okay? It's such a cool concept. I've never seen a lamp as a tail before, but now I have and I love it. And right off the bat, just looking at Rin, they kind of seem like a more calm and collected character. I mean, the person even mentions how they like to do a lot of sketches and they also have a ghost cat, and I feel like that's a lot of stuff that a calm person would do. I imagine they're in a dark forest setting where the person can't see, but Rin uses their tail to light up the forest. And since there isn't much to do in the forest, Rin is probably just sketching the trees that they're looking at. Also, is it just me, or does it seem like most of the time artists always have a cat? Since Rin guides lost people, I think it makes more sense for their design to be a little more bright. I know they already have a tail lamp and all that great stuff, but at the same time, their suit is very dark and their hair is also really dark, and I just feel like everything could be brighter. I ended up putting those little squiggly things surrounding Rin directly on their head. I think it looks cooler. It's like a second set of ears, but it's just like their hair is on fire. It's really cool looking. I also made their tail more natural looking, kind of like it's in the shape of a lamp, but it's not exactly a lamp. It's still their regular tail, and then I put a giant blue flame in the center, as well as fire speckles around it to make it look ultra cool. Since I imagined Rin to be more laid back, I also made their tie not really neat. I put it over their shoulder like it's just thrown on there. In the original, their outfit does look a little more fancy in detail. I wanted to make it more simple. I made the jacket unbuttoned and also longer like a coat. One side's kind of just falling off the shoulder. Again, just very relaxed person. I gave Rin a sketchbook with a pencil so that they can do their sketches, and I also put their ghost cat crawling on their arm. I put some glowing at the bottom of the coat and the pants again just to make it more lit up so that any lost person who comes across Rin can see them better. Because they're a ghost, I also made their skin a little bit more pale. Just because it would fit Rin's personality, I decided not to give them shoes, and I know I'm really bad at drawing feet. It looks really wonky, but I think it also looks kind of cute. But I'll work more on my feet art later. Wait, that sounded weird. Anyways, yeah, Rin is complete, just floating in the air like a ghost, chillin'. Thank you so much for your submission, Artistic Animator. I hope you like how Rin turned out, and I had so much fun drawing them. Alright, next character is Bia from Oakley. Oakley says, I really like gacha characters and this is mine. Her name is Bia, she, her. She loves colorful and vibrant stuff and she works in an arcade and she loves it because colors are everywhere. She also loves video games. She doesn't really have a backstory, she's just cute. Alright, first off I gotta say, I love how enthusiastic Oakley is about this. They seem really excited about this character and I am too. I mean, just look at this design. It is so adorable. I love it so much. I love the colors in this outfit. They're literally my 3 favorite colors, pink, blue, and yellow. I know the creator said that Bia works at an arcade, but at first glance, she kind of just looks like a gamer girl, so that got me thinking, what if she was a mascot at the arcade? Because at least with the arcades that I've been to, they usually still wear a pretty plain outfit for the workers. But since Bia is so full of life and energy, I think it only makes sense that she would work as a mascot there. I don't know of many arcades that have a mascot, but hey, Chuck E. Cheese does, so it works. So since Bia works at the arcade, I still wanted to make sure you can kind of tell that she's an employee there, so I did give her a little name tag on her overalls. A little nitpick I had with the original design, I'm not really sure what's going on with her shirt area. Another little collar thing is usually on Japanese sailor uniforms, but then it looks like she has a crop top on top of her regular shirt, and I don't really know what's going on, okay? But either way, I wanted it to look more like an actual uniform because she is a worker after all. So I made the overalls pull up all the way up to her chest area, so it's like longer, kind of like a dress, but it's not at the same time. And then I turned the t-shirt that she has underneath into a short-sleeved hoodie, just because it gives off more gamer vibes. And instead of her having those star sunglasses, I turned them into star headphones, and I think it looks super, super cute. I also put these little star boppers on top, kind of like that Roblox hat, as well as some little antennas on the headphones. In the original, she does have star pupils, but I just made her entire iris into a star, as you can see. And then she's in this cute little pose where she's like, hello, welcome to the arcade. Something really cool I added was I put a bunch of video game pins on her overalls to show that she's really passionate about video games, and I also put some gamer hair clips in her hair. On the overalls you got Pac-Man, Space Invaders, Ring Toss, and a random pixelated heart. Her overall buttons also are stars, and since she loves playing games, I think it would only make sense for her as a mascot to also participate in them with the other customers. She loves having fun with them, so I gave her the strength hammer, you know, that arcade game where you take the hammer, then you smack the button and see how high it goes. I just thought it would be really cute if she was holding that, so I gave her that in her hand. I mostly kept her skirt and socks the same, and since she loves colors, in her hair I did add some colorful hair streaks. It just makes so much sense for her character. Even though she works there, since she is the mascot, she can get away with a lot of dress code stuff. Lastly, it didn't show her shoes in the original, so I kind of just gave her these shoes with a variation of stars and sparkles just matching the rest of her outfit. I am confident if Bia was at an arcade, everyone would love her. Chuck E. Cheese would go out of business. Thank you, Oakley, for submitting Bia. I hope you like my recreation of her as an arcade mascot. Next up, we got Imiko the Ninja by Selena. This is Imiko, a 13-year-old fire ninja from Japan, well known for having an ability to create fire. Many people called her the fire ninja, living with her mom and her 2 siblings, 1 brother and 1 sister, who are also ninjas. Imiko is the youngest child in her family, and when it comes to her personality, she is honest, chill, and loyal. Something about this character just caught my eye. Her design is really cool and cute. I love the hair color. I'm usually not really familiar with working with the color orange, so this also gives me a challenge. And while she's like so chill and laid back, she has all these fiery flames behind her. It's great. Another thing that I'm absolutely loving about this design is her hair. Her buns are so fluffy like a poodle dog. It is adorable. Though as much as I love those aspects of her, when it comes to her outfit in general, I think there's a lot of changes to be made, specifically because her outfit doesn't really scream ninja to me, you know what I mean? So that's mainly what I'm focusing on for this design. I will say I don't think I've ever actually drawn a ninja before, or at least I don't remember doing so, which is why I used Google and Pinterest. Seriously, if you're an artist and you don't use Pinterest, use it now. It will save you. As you can see, there is many varieties of female ninja outfits, so it's definitely not just limited to like that one full bodysuit that I see everywhere. You can get really creative with it, and a lot of them look super cool. Instead of her having a t-shirt with a flame on it, I gave her this ninja costume type shirt because I don't know how to describe it. The sleeves are cut off in a triangular shape and it's buttoned down the middle. As you can see in the middle, I replaced her brown belt with this orange belt that is made of more a cloth fabric, and at the bottom of the belt, the rest of that shirt comes out and it's long and frilly. It's supposed to represent her skirt in the original, but I wanted to make it look more it's like actually part of the costume. On her collar, I also put a flame decoration that's hanging from a piece of string, and another thing that I really liked about the original was how long her sleeves are, so I maximized that with mine and I made it a lot more dramatic. I think it makes her outfit look so much cooler, and in a lot of ninja outfits they have this ribbon attached to the sleeve, so I put that as well. Imiko has red shorts connecting to the rest of her outfit, and then I basically left the orange sock the same, but I made it a little more shiny and bright, and then I just didn't put a sock on the other one. I've actually seen many ninja outfits where they're not technically wearing shoes, it's more like this thing where the toes and the heel is poking out, so I did give her those instead because I feel like it helps her move more freely, and since Imiko was so chill, I just feel like she'd be the one person to walk everywhere with no shoes. Selena did give her a band-aid, which I think makes a lot of sense for Imiko's character. Since she is a kid, she's probably prone to getting hurt more. Not to mention, band-aids are just really cute, which is why I decided to put a band-aid on her nose, even though I don't draw noses. Just pretend it's there. Last but not least, I made her fire flame power. Yes, fire, flame, same thing. I made it coming out of her sleeves. I think it looks so cool that way, like she just has these giant flowy sleeves and then her fire powers are just flowing from that. I don't know, it just looks so majestic and cool to me, so I had to do it like that. As for the colors, I generally just made everything more brighter, and I kind of had to mess around a lot with them because, again, I am not familiar with this color palette. But hey, for someone who never uses the color orange, I think I did a pretty good job. I absolutely love the pose that I gave her. It looks so cool, and she really does look like a ninja. By the way, yes, I did use reference for the pose. There's no way I could draw this without one. Thank you so much, Selena, for submitting Imiko the Fire Ninja. Your character is very cool, and I hope you love this redesign as much as I do. First up is Berry, submitted by Pre. Berry, goes by she, they, is a daytime baker and a nighttime party thrower. She likes to have fun and bake sweet pastries. She also has a berry cat. P.S. Don't eat her hair. I'll try not to. Okay, I fell in love with this character as soon as I saw them. Their design is super cutesy and I love the soft colors. I'm also someone who loves sweets and baking, so I got super excited when I saw this character. The thing I love most is definitely her hair, but I also had a different idea in mind. I'm not sure if the swirly things on top is supposed to be a berry, or you know, just hair, but instead for my design, I made it fade into this white whipped cream decorated with berries around it. I think it's so cute. I originally planned on making the whole hair look like raspberries because, you know, her name is Berry, but when I started doing that, it looked kind of strange, so I scrapped it. I also made her chef hat resemble a blueberry muffin, because why not? Speaking of which, what's your broski's favorite kind of muffin? Leave a comment. Mine is banana nut muffins. They are so good. I swear, do not make a joke about that. I did want to change up the outfit a bit since I do think there's a lot of like random articles of clothing and patterns that make it look a little messy, and some of the colors are a bit extra. Her apron is in the front and I put a little picture of some fruit as a cute design and added her name Berry at the bottom. So it's basically like her own custom apron. I also made it larger since she makes pastries. It can get a little messy in the kitchen, you know, so I also put some splatters of jam on the apron like she made a big mess. I swear every time I bake something the kitchen looks terrible afterwards, but it's worth it because cookies are amazing. And if you disagree, then leave. Underneath is her yellow dress with a plaid pattern along with a pretty red ribbon which is also holding her mixing spoon she uses for baking. Pretty clever, right? I'm a genius. I added in some whipped cream and berries at the rim of her dress, which I love so much. It's literally one of my favorite parts about this design. I want this dress. And then some ruffles at the end. She's holding this beautiful tray of berry-filled pastries with her oven mitt on. First is a jelly-filled bun with whipped cream, a cream horn, which are so good by the way, if you haven't tried them you need to, and a chocolate donut. Wow, I'm making myself hungry. I regret this. Lastly, she's wearing high knee socks and pink heels. Since Berry is a party thrower, I imagine her to be very joyful and energetic, so she's kind of twirling around with a cookie in her hand and a donut in her mouth. I wish I had that donut in my mouth. Ready to present her pastries to the party. Also, I kind of completely forgot to add the Berry cat. I'm sorry, I ate it. Anyways, here she is. I love her. Next up is Amethyst, submitted by Rugmaster. This is my OC, she, her. She's the youngest wish-granting cat ghost, only able to grant 7 wishes. She's very friendly and also loves playing games. I really enjoy the concept for this one. It's very creative and I've heard of genies, but I've never heard of a cat ghost who grants wishes before, so this is definitely new. While the design is pretty cute, I do want to make some changes to this. The main thing that caught my eye was, well, the eyes. I'm sure the original creator put these eyes to resemble a cat because, you know, she's a cat ghost, but on this Gacha character, along with the mouth, it looks kind of scary to me. Kind of like the sleep paralysis demon I saw last night. So I ended up giving Amethyst one big eye, like a cyclops. I think this makes sense because she's a spirit and a cat, so she can probably see more than just, you know, the normal human universe. Since she's a ghost, she's able to see in many realms. Think of it as the all-seeing eye. I really hope that made sense and I didn't sound like an idiot. I also made sure there was no white visible in the cat's eye because you usually can't see that anyway. Only the iris. Cats always look woke. I decorated the iris with little shiny stars. Kind of looks like space. I made her ears a lot bigger and pointed. Also because she is young, kittens' ears are much bigger than adult cats. I know this because I've had many kittens and their ears are nearly as big as their head. And around the ears, I put this cool glowing halo. To her face, I added a fur-like texture so you know it's easier to tell that she's a cat. It's a bit hard to see, but I did add whiskers. I didn't change her hair up that much to be honest because I think her original hair suits her really well. So big and fluffy, in my personal opinion. The thing about purple is that a lot of bright purple shades look way too intense. I myself often have a hard time working with the color purple in my art, and since it's on the whole character, I feel like the purple on this person is just too much. Not saying that purple is bad at all, by the way. I love purple. You just gotta know how to use it. I mean, my character's hair is purple. If you mess with the shades a bit more, everything will come together nicely. I made her fur a much lighter shade, similar to a lilac blue to help balance out her dark purple hair. I also turned the hair into a cooler shade while still looking like a deep purple. When I'm working with the color purple, I also like to mix in a lot of dark blues. It helps it balance out a lot, and in the original the ends look lighter, so I made them brighter. Her outfit, in my opinion, looks a little randomized, so I simplified it. Since she is a wish-granting cat, I thought it'd suit her concept more to have somewhat sacred clothing, but not too crazy. I basically just made everything into one big piece rather than several layers, and at the end of her big cloak, I made it fading to this white color because she is a ghost, so it's supposed to look a little transparent. I turned her little ghost squiggle into a cat tail. Well, 6 tails to be exact. I put this because I wanted her tails to represent the 7 7 wishes that she can grant. I only drew 6 tails in my drawing because she is shown granting 1 wish right now, which is in the mirror. Whoever looks into the mirror gets their wish granted. I guess you could say that's just my own little concepts that I added in. I always end up adding extra stuff, I can't help it. Her hands are floating because to me it looks cool and magical. Lastly, surrounding Amethyst is her little spirit friends, though they look a little bit like flames in my version. Next submission is by someone you know. Someone I know? Have we met before? So you're the one who ate my cookies. Anyways, this is Kelly. She is a love guardian who protects relationships from breakups. She also sends luck to people around the world for a strong relationship. She has a very nice personality and is never mean to anyone. I'm really loving these pink peach colors, very pretty, and the concept is unique as well. I wouldn't have really thought of something like a love guardian. Now that I think about it, Kelly would literally be the perfect friend. She's super nice and friendly and can give you awesome relationship advice. I know a lot of people need that. I also like her eyebrows. They thick. I will say, I'm not sure why she's also a cat. That was never really mentioned in the concept. That's probably just a stylistic choice. Nothing wrong with that. I'm not super sure on what her outfit's supposed to be. Well, also because her arm is blocking the top a little, though I do love all of her colors. Overall, I thought Kelly should look a little more like a guardian. Maybe like a bit more formal or something. Okay, that wasn't formal of me, was it? Bad example. Her hair is very majestic. I decided to scrap the cat ears, forgive me, and instead replace them with heart-shaped hair buns. I really love it and it suits her theme well. I will admit though, I struggled a lot while drawing this hair, mainly the bangs. I had to redraw it a few times because I couldn't get it down right. I'm not really used to drawing ponytails, but I did my best. At the end, her ponytail does a little curl in the shape of a heart. I thought that was cute, subtle but noticeable. While her hair is one color in the original, the color really reminded me of peaches, so I wanted to amplify that by making it fade into this light orange color. I think it's super pretty. When I was looking into this concept, it also low-key reminded me of a cupid. You know, those angels who shoot heart arrows at people to make them fall in love with someone. I know it isn't exactly the same thing, but it's similar. So I put a heart arrow through her big ponytail. I think it's a very nice touch. For some reason, Kelly's clothes reminded me of PJs. I don't know why, but I couldn't stop seeing them as pajamas. They look so comfy. I really liked the idea of that, so in my version, she's wearing these cute oversized heart pattern pajamas, which also have white fluff. In my opinion, this also works because Kelly is a very kind person and gives advice. She just seems like that one best friend you'd have over for slumber parties and talk about your relationship problems with. I bet she's a very good listener. Also, because pajamas are warm and comforting, just like love. And for the heart pattern on her pajamas, I used a fuzzy brush to make her pajamas look nice and soft. I gave her this big white fluffy cloak over her outfit, sealed with a heart at the top. I just think having something like a long cape helps her look more like she's a guardian. One of my favorite features I added to this is this crystal heart ball that she's holding. My concept is that she uses this to watch over couples' relationships, and only she can see the visions in the ball. I gave her this mesmerized expression looking at the ball. It's funny because I just imagine her watching a couple like, oh my god, Todd is cheating on Lisa? I gotta do something about this. I'm sorry I had to say that. Anyways, she can also use it in a way that a sidekick can. You know those weird old ladies that you find in a tent telling you your fortune or something? Like predicting what will happen in the future of someone's relationship. This can be a really helpful tool for preventing breakups. Oh boy, her crystal heart took me a long time to make, quite a while. I've never really drawn complex shiny crystals before, so I did have to look at some examples on Google to kind of get an idea of what to do. For the most part, I messed around with the light and shadows and added in some random sparkles until it looked nice. It was hard, but it turned out looking super cool. Thinking about it now, it actually would have looked awesome if I made her crystal ball into a staff, but it's still epic either way. She's floating in the air. I love the pose I gave her. It's so majestic. And yes, she has no shoes. She's in pajamas after all. I also gave her some rosy cheeks in the shape of hearts and drew her wings as swirly hearts too. Here is Kelly the Love Guardian. First up, we have a submission from Annie. This is Cupid. Cupid is a cosplayer. Before she was a zombie, and she had social media account for her hobby. She enjoys making her own cosplays instead of buying them. Cupid enjoys arcades, cosplay cons, in general anywhere fun. She has a lot of homemade nursing props, though she doesn't want to be one. She just enjoys the aesthetic of nursecore. She is Vietnamese too, but I'm not sure if that's useful for art. Thanks so much, Annie, for submitting your character. She is so cute. And I was really drawn to this design because first off, I love pink. Best color. Fight me. But also the concept of a zombie who loves to cosplay is super cute, and this is empowering to the zombie species and shows zombies can be whatever they want to be. Zombie rights. I actually had no idea nursecore was a thing prior to this, but I think it looks pretty neat. Now time to redesign this zombie girl. As much as I love the original, I want to see a bit more colors than just pink, because that's most of it. When I think of cosplayers, I think of people who dress as their favorite character, or of course those who love making their own costume with lots of colors and cool accessories, which I assume is the kind of cosplayer Cupid is, considering she makes her own stuff. For my design, first thing I did was dress up her hair a bit more. In the original, her hair is down and a little messy, which makes sense because she's a zombie. But I think hairstyles are one of the most fun things to play around with in the costume, so I feel as someone who likes to dress up, Cupid could have more hair pizzazz. I gave her these cute bouncy twin tails. I still wanted her hair to be a little messy since she is a zombie, so there's some hair sticking out and one of her ponytails is a bit lopsided. Listen, alright, she may be a zombie, but she still did her best to make sure her hair is cute. 5 stars for effort. She has some band-aid hair clips as well as band-aids throughout her entire design, because band-aids go perfect with nursecore. In the original, I can't tell if that's a brain sticking out or not. It kind of blends in with the hair, but in mine, it's a brain. I put stitches on her face, and I gave her eyes this swirly effect. Cupid loves nursecore, so she's still got the nurse outfit on, but with some accessories. Her maid apron has a graphic design of a brain in the middle, which I thought was so cute, and yes, she made it herself. Around her waist is a ribbon slash sash thing that holds nurse props, like medicine and a shot injector. Along the way, I kind of came up with my own little story for Cupid. Since she's a zombie who loves dressing as a nurse, she can use it as a disguise, luring in patients pretending she will help them, and then boom! She eats their brains. She's gotta get her food somewhere. This is the most clever idea ever. You're welcome. I put pink, blue, and purple throughout her outfit for more color diversity. Her left leg has one blue and white striped sock, and her right leg has no sock and some of her bone is sticking out. Roblox moment. Her shoes are pink and have cute little wings on them. Since she makes her own clothes and likes social media, she's posing for the camera holding up her latest creation for a photo, while also holding up a shot with blood dripping out. She's drooling cause she's a zombie and she's tired. Lastly, I gave her a nurse hat with a worm sticking out and she's done. I love the final result and overall aesthetic of this. The colors go super well together. Thank you again, Annie. I hope you like my version of Cupid the Zombie. Next submission is by Chrome Vampy. This is Charles. Charles is a murderer and an obsessed, lovesick 27-year-old man. He likes hugs, knives, and he likes gals and gays. He loves your personal space and he creates little hearts whenever he feels loved. He's thinking about someone right now. Charles also likes skirts and Barbies because they are childish and creepy, and so is he. Well, needless to say, this character is interesting in a good yet unhinged way. This actually reminds me a lot of the kind of characters I made when I was 13 to 14 years old. I was in a super edgy phase back then, and I could have totally seen myself making a character like Charles. What I love is there's so many things about Charles that conflict with his character concept. He's a serial killer, yet he's a sweet person at the same time. One question though, how does he love people's personal space while being a murderer? To stab someone, you kinda need to be in their space. Unless you throw the knife like a boomerang. Man's got skill. But anyways, never mind that. As we can see, most of Charles' outfit is black. He's wearing some sort of robe over his shoulders with a sweater underneath, and I don't know what the other thing is called, a man skirt, and then he doesn't have a mouth for some reason. I almost didn't choose this character because I already loved his outfit and I think everything suits him, but one of the main things I wanted to change with his design is his stature. In the original, he looks like a normal person, mostly, but I wanted to amplify the creepiness. I know he's a killer, but to be honest, he's kinda cute and doesn't scare me, so let's change that. I drew him creepily tall while being concerningly skinny, and he's in this hunched over pose where his back is locked in place. His fingers are long and pointed as well. It's unsettling, almost as if you'd question whether or not he's even human. I think this suits Charles' character since he's mysterious and a lot of people wouldn't understand his nature, especially considering he's lovesick. When someone is lovesick, they don't act normally and not like themselves. I'm assuming his lovesickness is the reason he's a killer, or at least one of them, which could also explain why he's so sweet at the same time. In the original, I couldn't tell if he was wearing a mask or if he just didn't have a mouth, but either way, I gave him a mask, and on the mask he has this weird smile, as well as a heart in one of his eyes. Despite being a killer, Charles seems to have this innocence to him, so I wanted to keep that as well. His smile is sweet, but also scary. Mostly scary. I also like the mask because it just adds to the mysterious factor. We have no idea what could be under that mask. He could be a human or he could be an unknown creature. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention. The reason there's blood on the mouth of his mask is because he applied it to look like lipstick. Yes, Charles has a fashion sense. Since he likes pink stuff, I put heart hair clips in his hair as well. They mentioned Barbies, so I drew him holding a Barbie-themed teddy bear. I could have just put a Barbie doll, but despite being a serial killer, Charles seems like the type who loves to cuddle, so at least he has that. He would probably pretend the teddy bear is his crush since he's obsessed with them. If the original creator would have told me what his crush looked like, I totally would have made the teddy bear look like them. That would have been even more creepy. I mostly kept his original outfit, but added some heart buttons near the bottom of his cloak thing, and also made it slightly open to reveal the fact that he's wearing a pink skirt Listen, if anyone mentions skirts, I'm gonna draw one. Let Charles express himself. Down below, he's wearing some thin pointed shoes, and in his hand, instead of a plain old butcher knife, he's holding a glammed out pink sparkly knife. Here is the finished Charles. I love how he turned out. I didn't change his design a crazy amount, but added stuff I thought really suits his character. Hope you like it, Chrome. Last but not least is a submission from Sissy Patootie. I hope I said that right. This is Siren. She likes to swim and can turn into a mermaid when she goes underwater. On land, she has legs, and she is kinda evil. She uses her necklace to hypnotize people to jumping into the water and making them drown. Very feisty and evil personality. And they also drew a cactus on the side. Thank you for your OC. I'll admit one of the main reasons I picked this character is because I love mermaids and really wanted to draw one. Also, mermaids are great, but what really sold me is that she's evil mermaid. It makes sense that her name is Siren because sirens are basically crazy mermaids. It's said that mermaids are harmless, meanwhile sirens lure humans into the water to kill and eat them. And sometimes the blood of the humans even make them more powerful. I love her color palette. There's a lot of different colors, but they all go really well together and everything balances out. In the original, she's in her human form, so of course I wanted to draw her as a siren mermaid. I'm drawing her to look more monstrous and vicious. Her teeth are long and sharp. She also has two big teeth coming from the bottom that kind of look like tusks. To make her look more wild, the pupils are slit like the eyes of a cat. I noticed her clothes have a lot of different layers and patterns, so in her mermaid form, I simplified it as I think she wouldn't wear so many clothes underwater. Her top is made of seaweed wrapped around her chest, since the original made me think of seaweed since it's green. Below, of course, she has a mermaid tail, and wrapped around her waist is the pink cloth from the original, as well as another garment towards the end. On her head, she has a super pretty seashell decoration with pearls and two long locks of hair coming out on both sides, basically like a split ponytail. Now, with sirens, they typically use their voice to lure humans into the water, like singing, but for her, she hypnotizes them with her eye, I think? That's what it looks like anyway. So I made her right pupil glowing like magic. I also changed her trident into a staff with these purple sea crystals, which is also the same color as her magic eye. This way she could transfer her magic to her staff and make her weapon very powerful. I'm very proud of those crystals, by the way. One of the main reasons I've avoided drawing mermaids is because I do not feel like drawing all those scales, okay? Yes, I'm a lazy artist, and I'm not afraid to admit that, but I did it. It took a while, but I love how it looks. I didn't quite understand what those things were on her arms. Is she a furry? Anyways, I drew them to kind of look like spiky scales going up her arms since I felt that made more sense. She also has a scar on her belly, as well as blood dripping from her fangs. She had a nice meal. If I could go back and change one thing, I would probably make the colors more grayed out because her color palette I made looks nothing like the original. My default color and style is always bright and saturated, so oopsies. Here is Siren. She's so cool. It took me 6 hours to draw, but I'm satisfied with the way she turned out. First OC is Tionk from Aaliyah.
I'm sorry if I pronounced that wrong.
Meet Tionk, the weather reporting robot. Her hair is like a cloud which can change colors if she is sad or upset. I immediately fell in love with the concept of this character. I don't know about you guys, but I've never seen a weather reporting robot. The idea is very unique, as well as her design. I mean, look at that huge cloud of hair. It immediately reminded me of that one escort from the Hunger Games because she always had the most stylish hair and bizarre outfits. I really enjoy all of the colors and accessories, and while it's adorable, I will admit this outfit is very chaotic, which isn't always a bad thing. In fact, I don't dislike the outfit at all. It's very fun and colorful, and if you couldn't tell by my art, I'm all about that. As always, while I'm redesigning, I'm mainly focusing on whether or not the character concept aligns with the design itself, which brings me to one question. Would her outfit be too distracting for a weather reporter? I just imagine someone watching the weather forecast on TV, and then this robot girl comes on with this super crazy outfit. I would not be focusing on the weather. My eyes would be all on her. I would be so distracted by her outfit that I wouldn't even be able to think about looking at the forecast itself. But at the same time, I love complex and accessory-filled outfits. After all, it fits her bright and sunny personality. Get the pun? Okay, I'm sorry. So I don't want to completely change that either. So I decided I want to redesign her outfit to be even more weather-oriented. I know she already has giant cloud hair, which is awesome, but let's take it up a notch and make the weather her entire design. After all, as a weather robot, that's what she was created for. I kept her hair pretty similar to the original because I love it, and I couldn't bring myself to alter it too much. But I did make the clouds more swirly and fun. On the original, she appears to have a screen strapped on her face with the sun on it, which I assume is supposed to be the forecast. Since she's a robot, I thought it'd make more sense if the screen was her face, and the weather will just pop up on there. I also designed the rest of her body to look more robot-like. Since in the original, I couldn't really tell that she was a robot. I replaced the star on her hair with a rainbow hat that includes the sun and a lightning bolt. Our star is part of the weather? Let me look it up real quick. A star is part of the weather. The only star affecting Earth weather is the sun. Wait, the sun is a star? I guess I learned something every day. Anyways, back on track. Now the outfit is really where all the major changes come in. I mostly kept the original color palette, but everything else is pretty different. I replaced her normal tie with a sunny rainbow tie because I thought that was adorable, and her shirt is a sky blue. Followed below is this giant circle skirt, which, fun fact, all of her clothes are basically made of glass and metal since, you know, she's a robot. And I designed her skirt to be this giant screen which shows the entire weather forecast for the week. This is quite literally how it's laid out on the actual news, so I was like, you know what, let me just slap that on there. Up top is the days of the week, and down below is the temperature and weather. Her skirt is rimmed with cloud fluff, which is like the only part of her clothes that isn't metal. Down below, I also gave her rocket shoes cause, I mean, why not? If you're gonna make a robot, they might as well have rocket shoes too. I imagine anyone can call for her and she can just fly to you with her rocket shoes and be like, hey, I got your request. Here's the weather forecast for the week. Like the Siri assistant or something. But obviously she's way cooler than Siri. I loved drawing this character and putting my own interpretation on her design. And thank you so much, Aaliyah, for your awesome submission, and I hope you love my drawing of Tiank the weather robot. Next up is Sia, submitted by Octopus. This is Sia. She's an alien from a planet that can't be pronounced by humans. I can't think of a name. She came to Earth on a journey to find something that isn't on her home planet. Cats. She's very friendly and loves sweets. Thank you, Octopus, for your adorable character, and honestly, I'm really glad I stumbled across this one because this has got to be one of the cutest character concepts I've seen. This alien girl loves cats so much that she is willing to travel all the way to a whole different planet just to find some cats. Honestly, me, I would do this. As terrified as I am of space, if my cat was sent to Mars, I 100% would go there to get my cat back. No questions. This girl has got her priorities straight, and I know we would be best friends because I've got 8 cats. Then again, I don't want my cats getting stolen. There would be a space war. Anyways, I'm getting sidetracked. I love Sia's design, especially her tail. It kind of reminds me of an axolotl, which are also adorable. Her color palette is so nice and soft looking. I also love that the creator put stars in her eyes. Super clever. In the original, she's wearing a simple yet unique outfit, which I'm assuming is the style that aliens on her home planet dress. And honestly, I have zero problems with the design. Everything goes so well together. I picked this one for a different reason. Since Sia is traveling to Earth in search of cats, I figured she would definitely get sidetracked along the way. After all, she is venturing a completely different planet, and there's so many new things to see. So I'm composing her new design based off of human souvenirs and merchandise she collected during her travels. I kept her hair mostly the same because it's already adorable, with the exception of making her can't talk today. With the exception of making her bear with me, guys. With the exception of making her star hair pieces bigger because I love chunky accessories. I imagine the first stop she would make is LA, as that is a huge tourist attraction, so of course it would be for an alien. She's wearing an LA shirt she found at a tourist spot paired with blue shorts. And of course, since she loves cats, around her neck is a choker necklace with a cat charm. I know that Octopus mentioned Sia loves sweets, so she discovered a bakery along the way and grabbed a giant bag of cookies, which she probably didn't pay for, unless she somehow got access to human money. Being from space, I imagine Sia would not be used to gravity. So really, she's still learning how to walk properly and not stumble everywhere on Earth. So I gave her several band-aids due to clumsiness. On her back is this saucer-shaped backpack. It's supposed to be like one of those bubble backpacks you can carry your cat in. My family actually has one of them. They're pretty cool. So yeah, she made sure to come prepared to capture some kitties. As you can see, one is already in the saucer. She's leaping forward as she is chasing another cat, and she was eating a donut, but she got so excited that when she saw the cat, the donut just flew out of her mouth. My sister actually asked me if she was drooling because she wanted to eat the cat, and I was like, no! A donut just flew out of her mouth, guys. Don't worry. I know there's stars in her eyes originally, but I made her pupils into hearts when she sees cats because she loves them so much. Also, guys, I got a random question. Do you think aliens are real? Leave your thoughts in the comments. I'm honestly not sure. She collected a bunch of random pins from tourist shops and stuck them on her tail. I also made a cat flying off of her tail because it wants to play with it since it looks like a cat toy. I'd also like to think Sia doesn't understand the concept of shoes since she's an alien after all, but she did find some cool socks. Did she pay for any of the stuff she collected? Probably not. But you know what? If an alien visited my planet, I'd give them some free stuff. She must be protected at all costs. Here is my version of Sia, the cat-loving alien. Again, thanks so much, Octopus, for submitting her, and I hope you enjoy my redesign of your adorable character. Last but not least is Echo, submitted by Ruined Souls. This is Echo. Echo is a human bunny hybrid that controls sound. He has great music and he is a great fighter. He gets a little crazy. Yeah, I don't know about that last part. And before I continue on, in the middle of me drawing this submission, the creator actually updated the description so we have more information about him. They mentioned he is immortal, but was stunned at the age of 19 despite being 24. So he acts like a child, but is very smart and powerful. He can also create music notes in the air with different colors for different uses. Thanks so much Ruined Souls for the submission, and an extra thanks for updating the description to give us more info. I can tell you're very passionate about him. I don't normally say this, but this has gotta be one of my top favorite submissions I've chosen. He just looks so cool, and the person who submitted this is very creative. I gotta say though, those are the biggest bunny ears I've ever seen. Like damn, you could strangle someone with those. As cool as Echo is, I feel like he can be even cooler with some add-ons and a little more spice. I wanted to start with his hairstyle. It's very different as I've never really seen a hairstyle like this before. It's very swag, but I think his hair would look even more swag if it was more spiked and scruffed up at the top. I also feel like this suits his chaotic nature more, since they did say he gets crazy. Because Echo's main feature is controlling sound, I felt like it only made sense for him to be more electronic, basically like a cyborg. I know they mentioned nothing of him being a robot, but I feel like it'd make a lot more sense for his concept. On his face are these hologram glasses that Echo can use to control his volume, as well as other sound settings, and whatever other cool features he may have. I included sound wave patterns reaching down his bunny ears that will sync with Echo's voice whenever he talks. I noticed he has knives for hands. The creator did mention he fights, so I'm assuming that's why he has them. I thought it would be extra cool if he also used sound as his main weapon. So rather than knives for hands, his forearms turn into these giant speakers, which he can blast sound waves out of to damage his enemy's ears, or they can pack a powerful punch. I turned his hoodie and pants into a sleeveless baggy jumper suit with a big belt in the middle that has a speaker design. He has long boots which closely resemble the original shoes, and for some more pizzazz I added some sound bars on them. I felt like without his knife hands he needed spikes somewhere, so I included them on the bottom of his shoes, which looks awesome. While I do like the gray colors, he could still use some more color in his design, in my opinion. Not to mention, sound itself does have certain colors aligned to it depending on the type of noise. Softer colors tend to be aligned with quiet noises, while bright neon colors are considered louder noises. Keeping this in mind, I included some neon colors throughout his design as I imagine Echo to be more on the loud side. I didn't want to change it too much though, and still kept the gray theme going on with the main part of his outfit, but he's definitely more colorful now. By the way, no clue if this was the creator's intention or not, but I love the eyes because the swirl effects reminds me of sound waves. I changed the iris from gray to magenta/violet, as violet noise is considered the loudest. Don't know if anyone can tell, but I tried to give him a similar physique to a jackrabbit, since jackrabbits are incredibly energetic and also really good at fighting. Like, they literally punch each other in the face, like a boxing match. So I think it fits Echo. And with that, my redesign of Echo is complete. Wow, I love this one. This might be my favorite. Thank you again, Ruined Souls. Your character is epic, and I hope you like the redesign. Hey broskies, thanks so much for watching. This was literally my longest video ever. If you like these complete series videos, let me know in the comments and I'll make another one. This one was my favorite. Also, if this video does well, I'll definitely make a part 6 to my Gacha redesign series. So join my Discord server if you want to upload your Gacha OC. Okay, bye!